hope that Cedric's going to arrive pretty soon.
2 minutes and 25 seconds.
Is he based?
Sorry?
Is he based in Lisbon?
No, we are based in Abrantes. It's in the countryside of Portugal. Right?
Yes. No, I'm talking about the designer we're waiting for. The company.
No, he's in Antwerp.
Antwerp, Belgium. Okay, cool. Yeah, amazing.
So we are live now on Facebook, and I really hope that our third guest is arriving as well. But at first, welcome everyone. This is Cork webinar, and this is an official event of Budapest Design Week, and this is a very special timing because Budapest Design Week is celebrating its 20th anniversary. So it is such an honor to be a part of this festival. I am Dorottya Kis. I am from youHU Design, and we are creating beverage-related products and installations for improving guest experiences or wine accessories and many interesting exhibition stands for hospitality areas. We met Cork material 1.5 year ago, which is just very short time, but we felt that it is such a special material. So there's so many opportunities in it, and we still see it from Budapest. And I really wanted to talk to some experts of this field. So I would like to introduce very shortly our guests here who accepted our invitation, and I'm so grateful that you did. So at first, Laurie Wiid van Heerden from Wiid Design from South Africa. Then Cedric Etienne from Studio Corkinho from Belgium. And from Sofalca, we have Mafalda, Estrada, Magalhães, and Menezes. And please...
Paulo Estrada.
Thank you so much that you joined us. And now, please, in 2-3 minutes, please introduce your companies, your role in your companies, because we are just so excited to know more about you. Who would like to start?
I don't mind.
Okay, so
if you guys, so it's I don't have a video prepared, but it's I'll explain who I am and what we do. So we're based in Cape Town, my design studio. We've been working with Cork for more than a decade. To be precise, I discovered Cork in 2010. We based in Cape Town, but all our Cork is from Portugal, Amarim Cork. So they've been a huge supporter of my brand, and they see me as an ambassador in South Africa of the material, as a natural material and a material we specialize in now. So we've got over 200 products, and most of our Cork products are extremely high end. It's all handmade. It's machined and handmade elements. We paint with it. We create sculptural products. We carve. We create beautiful furniture pieces, lighting. And we are a relatively small studio. We're 15 staff members. I've got one designer helping me, but at the end of the day, I'm running around managing the show. But I love working with Cork, and I love being a designer. So we've been going for quite some time. I would love to hear. I know the other two brands. I would love to hear more about them, and I'll obviously explain further what we do in the next question.
Thank you so much. Cedric, would you continue, please?
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you all. We know each other, I think, from live, but it's nice to be here together. I'm based in Antwerp, Belgium. I started to discover the poetics of Cork also around 2010 with a design contest. I wanted to explore circular materials because I was working at that time more in scenography and installations, not really as a designer, but more as a set designer, let's say. And 2015, I went in Japan as a Vipassana retreat to just grounding with myself. So it's 10 days of silence, really into the well-being, to travel inward. And when I went back to the harvest of the cork in Alentejo, I was really feeling this strong grounding, property that cork has on human beings. And I wanted to explore this more as a contemplative material for spaces to create spaces to slow down and to really integrate cork more as a sensorial patina to create well-being in the home and beyond architecture as well, not only as an object but also as an invitation to travel inward, which cork as a very introvert material has beautiful properties, and how to translate this in a ritual or in a space for connecting with yourself. And I think the thing that triggered me the most was the perception about cork, because still now today people and the market has a certain perception of cork as they always remind the cork of the 60s, 70s, the ties, so something a bit old-fashioned. But when we look today at the cork industry, it's so contemporary, so versatile. So I wanted to be part of this change of perception to create a new layer in the memory of the people that can see cork as a very attractive material in our modern times. So well, that's how I hope to contribute to as an ambassador of cork.
Thank you. So interesting. So please, as I know, Sofalca is going to show us a video as well. So please, Mafalda and Paulo.
Yeah, I'm Mafalda. With me is Paulo, my father. We are a family company. It was founded by my grandfather and his brothers in 1966. We are the producers of expanded black cork, and our main business is installation. But 10 years ago, we created two design brands, Gen Cork and Black Cork. Black Cork is for furniture, and we work with designer Tony Grillo, who is our creative director. And for Gen Cork, we work with the architect Brime Silva. And we've decided that cork was so much more than just insulation, and we should be able to show it in different ways. So Sofalca created these two brands to show all the potentials that this 100% material has, and that is quite beautiful and with a great texture. Do you want to add anything?
Yes, Gen Cork is what is behind of us. It's cork in generative design, making wonderful walls with acoustic properties. Generative design, meaning that the design didn't start or didn't finish, is always a new design. It's tailor-made for each client. But we think that most of people, when we talk about cork, understand the cork stoppers of the bottles of wine. We would like to show a small video just to understand how comes this expanded cork, this natural cork with no glue and with no ink. So if you allow, we will share our screen to show you a small video. Is it possible, or you want it later?
No, please, now show it.
Just a second, thank you. Just a second, please.
Oh, no worries.
Sorry.
There were some.
Are you seeing the video?
Not yet. No.
Engedélyezd.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's good now.
Okay.
This is Cork Forest here in Portugal, outside the factory.
Oh, wait. There are some problems here.
Vedd le őket a stage-ről.
Okay, wait.
Őket. A Sofalcát.
Yes.
Ezt most nem tudom, miért csinálja.
Could you start the video again? Could you start the video again?
I just did.
Többieket is visszatehetem.
Unfortunately, I don't see it.
Vedd vissza az ő képernyőjét. A képernyőjét. Vedd le. Engedélyezd újra.
I just added your screen shot, but somehow it doesn't go well. Maybe later we should try again.
Yes, of course.
I'm sorry, but later we should definitely.
Anyway, these videos are in our websites, also in Vimeo or in YouTube. You can see everything about Sofalca and our two brands.
And to explain just a little bit about the video, it would show the Cork forests, and our factory is located right in the heart of the Cork forest in Portugal. And it would show how we take the cork out. There are two types of cork. The cork that you take out of the tree without cutting anything, and it's the cork that it's usually used for cork stoppers. And the cork that we use, it's from the small branches that are cutted with between 15 to 20 years. And these cuts will allow the tree to grow bigger and healthier. And that's the cork that we use. It has much more resin, and that's the only glue that we use to put everything together.
And the name is Falca.
And the name is Falca. That's why our name is called Sofalca. It means only Falca. And that's the cork that we usually use. But in your questions, we will be able to explain a little bit more about our process and the recycling and everything.
Just to explain a little bit more. So we cut these branches and then we take out the cork. We separate the cork from the wood. We need to clean this cork to take out some parts of wood that come together with the raw material. And with these parts of wood that were garbage, this is our fuel nowadays. This is all biomass, and we are 95% autosufficient energetically because we use our garbage to transform water in vapor at 400 degrees. Then we cross the granules by this vapor at 400 degrees. The cork expands like popcorn. The natural resin that is inside of each granule come outside to glue everything and stays with the chocolate color because of the temperature. So these big blocks that are only cork and water vapor at 400 degrees. And then we have different qualities only for construction or for design that we improve the quality of the granules of raw material, as also the density of the material, but always 100% natural, no glue and no ink.
Thank you. And it is so good that you just mentioned this because, of course, our viewers might ask that, okay, but why are we so obsessed about cork? Why is that so interesting? And I hope that later we can show them this video because I think the most interesting part and the most valuable part of using cork material is that it is the only wood that you do not have to cut out to use the material, cork harvesting is not just it does not harm the cork oak, but it is, as you mentioned, it is makes its life longer. So it is a good treatment for it when it is when the process made professionally. So that's why I wanted to just make it clear for our audience that's why this is just such a miraculous material, and this is such an opportunity for circular economy or sustainability. Moving from this, I would like to ask you some personal questions of what was, how did you meet the material? What was the first time, and what was that point that you were fell in love with it? Cedric, you already mentioned some of those first steps, but I'm very curious about more from everyone.
Well, yes, Cork has, the industry is already known for many decades. And like I said before, for me, it was really how you look at Cork. And here in Northern Europe, Cork is well known as, unfortunately, it's not the knowledge about Cork is pretty low. And still some people think the cork is like an apple from the tree, you take it out. They don't know the whole process behind the manufacturing or the cork mass and all the versatility you have in cork. So the top of mind, people think, yeah, the cork tile, but then I think it's a pity thing. The cork tile is used as a layer, then you have the veneer, you have the wood. So I was really looking into changing that perception in making, as a way, cork more sexy, in a way to show it as it is and apply craftsmanship. So we have done studies about how to finish the surfaces of this burnt cork or the black cork, let's say, even if it's brown cork. So how to really finish that in a way that it can really ennoblify, give new noblesse, give elevating the perception, and being next behind natural stone, the oak, all the big five, let's say, in the interior, the earth. How can cork complement, and how can cork really be as modern and as contemporary, and not staying stuck in this perception of an old material that is fragile, that is not really. There's a lot of questions in the market about cork that people don't know, and that's why they don't really go into cork, from my experience. And I wanted to change that in a way that creating cork and well-being, that challenge was for me how I fell in love with the potential. Cork has a lot of potential too, and a lot of narrative, a lot of story that is actually a culture. It's craftsmanship. The harvest is pure art. When you look at the farmers going really every day in the summer, taking the extraction of the cork bark, it's really, for me, it's meditation just looking at the cork harvest. So it has a lot more than just the industry that shows the final product. So I wanted, like an iceberg, everybody sees the visible part of cork, and I wanted to unhide the invisible part. That is all the beauty of the poetics of that material in two products. In a finishing product, we do also ties, or we really specialize in custom-made realizations for high-end architects, just made to measure. We don't have a big collection of objects or products. We're really going in the surface. The surface is actually our product. So it's how to make the surface really catchy and attractive for the creative scene, from art to architecture to design, and how to enter in dialogue with the creative people to tell a unique story about Cork.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. I agree 100% with Cedric. I mean, I discovered cork when I was early 20s, and in Paris. I saw cork being used with a ceramic cup, just something very simple. And as a designer, I was intrigued. And I back then I wasn't aware that cork was so sustainable, or how it was harvested. And then because South Africa is such a big wine producing country, I started doing some research and I traveled to Portugal and I met a wonderful man. His name's Joachim Sa. He's the managing director of Amrum South Africa. And we became very good friends. And I started importing certain boards. I started traveling, visiting the forests, meeting Antonio Amarim. So I realized that the possibilities are endless and the sustainability around Cork. It's almost like, it's very difficult to explain. It's like an addiction. So Cork, the smell, the possibilities, the way you touch it, the tactile properties, the way we carve it. I mean, if you go on my website, I've also got some video links. In Africa, we've got amazing skills, similar to Europe, but we're very tactile. We carve. My staff's amazing, and I've trained them over the years. We create our own binders. We add paint to expose the texture. We also combine various materials with cork, natural stones. We reinforce it. We create beautiful sculptural birdhouses. But cork it's very important to educate. And I find in Africa, or Cape Town for that matter, the southern tip of Africa, it's amazing the positive response I receive and how media appreciates the sustainability factor. And I love the fact that I have to educate people about it and show them the studio and make them smell the material. But we also work in like the black cork, like you guys mentioned, but we work in mainly 4 different grades. So we work in the dark facade, which is the roasted cork, the expanded granules, which is 100% natural, also made from the virgin bark or the first few harvests. And then we also work in light facade, which is also recycled. So that's all the virgin cork that hasn't been roasted or hasn't been expanded. So they make my own material for me in Portugal for the past 9 years, the light facade. So we mainly use the chunky cork, or the 2 facade grades, I call it, for our solid cork furniture and lighting products. And then we look at the composite grades, which is recycled from the wine stopper industry, and the excess of the trees when they are harvested after 51 years or 45 years. It's a more dense grade. So if you understand the material very well, then you learn the properties, and you know where to use the different grades. And we also recycle locally. Funny enough, it's all our cork material is recycled locally. And Amrum Cork South Africa has got an amazing initiative where they recycle all the wine stoppers from the wine farms since 2013. Yeah. So it's
you definitely have to share more about this, but please say it for later.
Okay, sorry. I'm just passionate about the cork.
Understandable. So I just unmute Sofalca's microphone as well.
Okay, so my grandfather started in the 30s with cork business. Sofalca comes in the 60s, and I arrived here in the 80s. That time, only doing insulation with this 100% natural material. So Sofalca is the factory is in the middle of the cork trees. So where the cork forest starts from the center of Portugal to the south to Algarve, and then we produce everything in this kind of cork. So main business is still the insulation. And the main market is Belgium, like Cedric. There are a great culture about insulation in France and in Belgium. These are the most important markets for insulation. And design comes as already thought. It was an idea to create more and different things with the same material we already produced. So we have the experience now in the 57 years producing expanded cork, and we have the experience of 10 years with black cork and 6 years with gen cork, and also we love to do bespoke material. So we love to work for Gervasoni or Classicon or Etimu, different brands of furniture, So we are producing for them is on design, always in the expanded cork, the natural one, because there are also cork with the same color, but is made with glue. They use our cork granules already expanded, but mixed with glue, like the technique for the cork flooring with more density, and it is better for small pieces. If you take a look at our brand, Black Cork, we always need to do massive pieces. The 100% natural expanded cork is also a little bit fragile. So we cannot want to use this cork in all parts. So there are clients like kids. I don't like to work with kids because this is wonderful because it's 100% natural, but it's somehow fragile. So our clients need to respect the design and the material and the designer. So it is a little bit a special and wonderful material, but it needs to be used in also special places. So just to give you the idea, Portugal produces 55% of world cork production, and we still work 70%. So we buy raw material in Spain and in Morocco, and we transform here in Portugal. Main business, 70% is cork stopper. And then we have the cork flooring with the leftovers of this virgin cork or the leftovers of the cork stopper. And then we have also the insulation with this expanded cork, and the design is growing a lot. We in Portugal are increasing the number of trees, or how fast you can take out the cork from the trees, because we need to wait to take the virgin cork. We need to wait about 30 years. Then you take each 9 years until 150 or 200 years old of the tree. So each 9 years come a new layer, and we need to improve this time between these 30 years. They are trying to, with irrigation and with the different techniques, to start earlier. But this tree, this cork oak tree, is protected by law, so we cannot cut the trees, we cannot cut the branches without permission. And this is a very slow grow tree. That's why it's protected. Otherwise, people will use eucalyptus, because in each 10 years you can have money. But already someone said this is a very good culture here in Alentejo. Everything are slowly. We like to do things slowly. Like our pieces are also made one by one by hand. And I will also invite you to come here to see. It's the best thing we can offer you. If you come to Portugal, just come to visit us. We are pleasure to show you. I don't know if you want to say something.
No, okay.
So.
Well, thank you so much. It's just that would be really amazing to visit you there, and it was just so good that you mentioned that there are some challenges or specifications of the material, like it is a kind of fragile in a way. It's not fragile, of course, because it's very flexible, the expanded cork, but still there are some features that you have to take care of it, and you have to explain to the customers or clients as well. And I would like to know your experiences. That what are the biggest challenges working with cork, or what are those that would you say that this is disadvantage? Because this material, I think it's just really great, and we are definitely fans of this material. But I really want to know that you have such a great experience, all of you, with this material. What are the challenge sections for that material?
For us, it's the main challenge in design. It's, as my father was saying, the fragility, because we don't use glues, we don't use anything, just cork and water steam, and the material is actually really fragile. We are not able to have design edges. sharp edges. We need to have everything round, otherwise it will break. It has to be used with careful, and sometimes the clients don't understand that. They want a piece, a beautiful piece, and they can use and do whatever they like with it, and it has to stay always perfect. And it's not like that. It's not a wood piece that will resist a lot of time. So that's our main challenge, I think.
Yes, in these 10 years, when clients come with new projects, I like to say that I do everything with if there are time and money. So we like to talk with the clients to adjust his design to our fragilities. So if we make this marriage between the final client or the designer, I want to do this, with our knowledge, you cannot do this, you must go this way or the other way, that we can give these wonderful products. It is really true, the smell is wonderful, but we need to have a final piece that it will use for what the client wants without be damaged in the first day or the second day. So we have already some experience on this. We have grown a lot with Tony Grillo, doing the black cork, like Mafalda said, the edges must be round. We need to have big volumes. If you have lights in the floor or walls, that nobody go there. If you avoid the impact, everything runs okay. But if we have a stool, if we put kids joking with this tool, they will do not resist as far as there are grown people. That's why this is the more fragility. We need to see with the client what do you want this? What are your clients? If you want to put the stools in the museum, okay. In the lounge in a hotel, okay. But if you are going to put them in the mall with a lot of people, in the end of the day, some of them will be break. So it's important to understand the way where this kind of cork, the 100% natural, fits better without give regrets to the client to decide for this. But we already have some experience. Once we have the production, we have the blocks, we have the CNC machines, we have the saws, so we can go together with the client and looking for the best way to help him to finalize what you want what you have in mind.
Yeah. Laurie or Cedric, how do you feel about the challenges?
Personally, yeah, I mean, I agree 100% with Sofalca. When it comes to expanded cork or the 100% natural dark cork, you have to incorporate curves. You have to, you have to understand and educate the clients as to where they're going to place it. So we normally, for example, we've supplied numerous projects, hotels, all over the world, but it depends what the client wants to use it for. So, for example, if a client wants to buy a cork bench from us, then I would always incorporate like a composite grade. So it's something like a 50 mil solid, break the edges. The composite grade is obviously not 100% natural. It's got a binder. So it's still recycled material, but it's got a binder, so it's more dense. So with our expanded granule cork, I can't really say any negative things about the material, but yes, it's brittle. So you always need to explain to the clients, listen, if you're going to use it for this application, I'm going to have to do X, Y, and Z in order to make it work for you. The expanded granule cork is amazing material for wall panels. It's an amazing material for solid furniture and especially for lighting because it's protected. We've had products outdoors for more than 9 years in the African sun, and the material properties doesn't change. It changes color, it turns silver. It's a natural material similar to timber. But we also design around the material. So if we've got clients in New York that's got bar stools outside in the snow, I design the bar stool so that you can take off the cork seat and replace it every 2 years or every year. Or I provide the client with various options as to the grades of the cork.
Cedric?
Yeah, a lot has been said. I think we always start from form giving to sense giving. Using cork needs a certain sense. There are many brands who use just cork just as a marketing tool, sustainability of eco design, but then they aim volumes and that does it match the scale and the meaning of using cork like you would use something else. I'm thinking about shoe brands and they really use cork in a smart way, but then in a high scale I think about the cheaper items. So where is it just a funny thing to use cork, or does it really have sense? So from our small scale niche studio, we really try to aim sense giving, because we are not having the capacity, neither the structure to go on volume. So this is why we were the first ones to integrate cork as a scent diffuser, as an olfactive object 6-7 years ago, to use the texture, the surface, the skin, because it works very well in diffusing a scent. And we integrated that as a part of a Japanese ritual from the 16th century, the kodo. It's the art of listening to scent. We connected this to our vision about well-being. We did the hatha yoga experience, and now we're designing meditation spaces. So so we are just like looking in how to create emotion and to create really something that has maybe not been yet done in a way, without having the pretension that we invent things, but really trying to find this crossing between sensorial aspects. The touch of cork is amazing, but how can you elevate that perception in an object that you don't know that it is cork? So we try really to create that surprise in the surface or in the objects to tackle something that is touching the perception and creating some poetics about it. So yes, I think for us it's more like trying to step away from a function or and trying to create a story out of the material, and that's where we try really to aim for.
I really like what you just said, Cedric, and it's really a great match with my next question, which would I'd like to ask you to tell more about your ideas about contemporary design and craftsmanship, because I know, and basically you already mentioned so many great things, and that you're really, if I understood right, it means that you are not only looking for the best physical place for the material and for your projects, but a very good mental place as well, and that the emotions that can make people feel more whole.
I mean, like I said at the beginning, for me, I'm really into well-being and contemplation and really slowing down, because this is, I think, what the world needs today, as a broader thing. When we look at the world, how it's going fast, the World Health Organization declares like distraction, like the lack of concentration, as the cancer of the 21st century. So we really want to play on that and trying to help people to land in a place where they don't have to, and they just need to be. And Cork has an amazing impact. This is what I see with our projects that are both residential interiors or our limited editions. So this is what we aim. It's really trying to give a layer of emotional perception to Cork, and we apply craftsmanship. So we kind of blast it. We impregnate it. Everything is vegetal. Everything is natural. We really are applying different kind of techniques. We're going to mold cork now in different ways, but it's always pretty one-offs, So it's it's a completely different dynamic than running a structure that you need to have a business model on making collections. So we are really creating moments and really one-off installations from objects, but also from textures. And I think, yeah, it's been a choice because this is my nature, how I want to bring people into kind of new curiosity, how they discover Cork. Then they get, of course, addicted because it has so many beautiful facets, and they want to use it then maybe in another furniture or in a space as a tile. And this is how we enter in dialogue with our clients, just by offering an emotion of really trying to be in the moment. And Cork has a very deep grounding property, and we are even sitting on Cork because we are recycling, and this is what I can do after. But we made meditation cushions and tatami just to also sit on the cork bark. So this is how we want to explore new ways to give new destinations to the poetics of Cork.
Can I add that we go to several exhibitions, events, and we go usually with Gen Cork, and people really feel it. They need to touch it. As Cedric was saying, it's a feeling. Cork is really a feeling. You need to see it, you need to touch it, you need to smell it to understand, not just see a picture. You need to be there and feel everything that Cork has to give. A lot of people go and touch and feel the waves of our patterns and feel the nature in Cork. We have made last year in Paris an immersive experience where you could feel the cork granules on your feet. You could hear the surrounding of the cork forest, of our factory. You could be inside everything because it was like a big box of cork with our patterns showing the evolution since the tree to the final product. And you could, like Cedric was saying, you could feel it, you could sense it. So yes, cork is so much more than just an insulation material or just 100% material. It has all these properties, unique properties that move you. I think it moves me. The clients that we have are moved with all of these unique things that cork has and other materials don't have. All of our design pieces are handmade. Basically, we work with a block, and then everything is made by hand. We make in the computer. I make the design of Gen Cork wall in the computer. But then if I don't have a team that is going to work on it, that appreciates it, and nothing would work. So it is really important to have a human sense in everything that we do. In order to be functional and practical. So yeah, I think that's it.
Just to add some information about this design way we are coming in the last 10 years. So I am an industrial myself. I don't know nothing about design. I know how to produce the blocks. And with this design way, we improved the quality of the blocks for design. So the raw material is different for insulation and for design. And it was in the past, and it still is, a perfect marriage with the two designers that collaborate with us and teach us how to do things. Because as an industrial, we don't understand nothing about design. And if the designer don't comes to ask for this, and then we together go to see the best way. Also, we can sell some cylinders, some stool cylinders, but with no design, just a cylinder. So this has been a wonderful way for Sofalca, and I like to, when I give these kind of workshops for young students that are feeling Cork by the first time. So I always like to say that creativity comes with creativity. And this is something we found here. So when the designers comes with new proposals, new ideas, I see everybody in the factory doing the same. Why you don't use this? Why you don't do that? So and they have been a wonderful way to meet all these designers and architects, like Mafalda is also architect, and also Miguel, nephew. They are in the design team, and they are improving also some creativity to what we want to do or what we are capable to do. So just to say, we are a factory, so we work for outside, we work for designers, we have our brands, but we need the designers to, as Cedric said, to have these feelings, to understand this super material that is cork, and it comes each year comes again a new quantity of cork that we also need to sell. So on my experience, what told me in these 10 years is that when we work cork, we must understand very well who is the client, where is the cork for, to do what, for acoustic, just to be beautiful, just to contemplate or to see, to touch. Everything is important, but this is important that we can go together with the client to give our experience and to have in the end the final product that all the client stays in love for long years. I said, Cedric, sorry, just to tell you this, but when I start talking, I don't finish. Near you, I have the first wall of Jan Cork in a hotel in Antwerp. And this client find us in Maison Objet. In the first year, we start with Jan Cork, and she bought three walls for her hotel. It's Beverly Hotel. You can go there to check. And this is the happiness of the clients that make us do more and more. To also our designer now in the last two expositions. We are not being there to selling material. We are creating spaces, environments, experiences, and this is indeed very important to work with Cork, because we just don't want to sell a stool in Cork. We want to sell Cork as an experience of a forest, of a country here in Portugal, of a storytelling. Be the factory and the people and the designers and the clients that are always behind of this project and in the end. So it is for us very, very important to work with the designers and to go through his ideas until the end. Sorry.
Laurie, would you ask something?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, if I have to mention some of the things I found is very positive about the material, besides the properties in the sense of, it being sustainable, is as a designer, it allows you to work in scale. So, I mean, ever since I started working with cork, if you look at the lights we've done, like the big cork pendant, we fabricated beautiful lights that's a meter in diameter by almost a stool's height by 450. So cork allows, it lends itself to curves, but also volume. So you can do beautiful pieces that creates statement pieces that you can't really do with other materials. We've also done an experience recently for a client in a wine cellar here in Constantia. It's quite a well-known wine cellar, La Colombe. And the client's brief was very interesting, and I love the interior design firm. They always believe in, almost like Cedric said, you want to have an experience and it needs to have a sense, and there must be a reason behind it. So we cladded the whole wine cellar in solid 50 mil cork, which is hand chopped. So it took us about 3 weeks to chop the cork with special hand tools to create a very unique texture. So I went there last week for the first time. I mean, we also use CNC machines, but in this case, it was all done by hand. So if you imagine, it's almost like brittle, it's like a sandstone that's brittle, like in Egypt. It's almost that similar feeling. So we went there for lunch and the client took us down, and it's insane how the sound just disappears. And the only thing you can smell is the cork. And it's special projects like that where people are astonished. I mean, they go into that space and they're firstly very confused as to like, where's the sound and how do you get the cork in that manner? So that's like a very interesting way of also, you know, creating an experience and educating clients and telling them it's all made from recycled cork and this is where cork's from. So it's, but I think there's just so many, the possibilities are really endless. I mean, if you look at the material.
Thank you so much for your answers. Now I would like to ask you that what steps do you make your companies be more sustainable? And as Cedric, you mentioned that you already you are using the leftover ones to just sit on to make floor from them. If I understood it right, that you are now you are sitting on cork as well. So. But not just the leftover material that I'm asking about, but more like also some delivery solutions or anything that you are trying to be more conscious, because of course cork is already a very sustainable material, but being sustainable as I see is quite an endless thing to try to do everything. So please tell us about it.
Yeah, well, we are more design studio, so we are not manufacturing or we are not producing. So it's more like the common sense, you know, when for example we start a design, we already take into account sizing, or we really try to understand how to be efficient, you know, in the way how to use cork. So it's been like 10 years of understanding how to be efficient. It's about choosing the right varnishes, the oils, the vegetable oils, to make it more. I mean, it's a very resilient on organic material, so it will change no matter what. You know, I will never say it doesn't change. If a client comes to me and wants to work with cork and he wants to have the same property than having with a non-natural material, then I would say, sorry, I cannot work with you, because this is not how nature is made, you know. So trying to, I think sustainability is also about, like we said before, educating and matching expectations of how to use the cork in the best way. And at our level, we really try, you know, in every aspect of the process, from the shipping. If it's in Europe, we try to choose the right carrier that is as good as possible, carbon free. And here in Antwerp, when we do this, we deliver by bike. So I mean, yeah, it's for us as a design studio, the sustainability is how do we manage some leftovers. Like I said, we really char them and we create granules. We could also buy granules because they are existing as an installation material, but we really try to have a zero waste mindset. We are a very small studio, so I wouldn't say policy, but a zero waste mindset from the beginning till the end. And this is in every detail of how we live as a designer, you know. So and how we communicate with our clients, how we organize our meetings, how we really try to be. For example, our studio is an old building that we have repurposed. We really try to work with solar energy. We really try to. The still room isn't being heated because it's too big, so it's cold and fresh in the winter and smooth in the summer. But I mean, these are like facts that I just want to say it's a mindset. Sustainability, it's not about plastic or nature. It's much more holistic, and it's much more a way of living to embrace sustainability. We don't talk about sustainability in our sale process, because for me it's something natural. You know, if you start to talk about claiming or try to defend yourself, we are a sustainable brand, then for me it loses power. Of course, we want to be in 2023. If you're not sustainable, then you're out of the market, you know. So yeah. So but we help planting trees, cork trees in the summer. We have some partner restaurants here that we say, send back your cork stoppers. So we try to do how we can do, but we don't have the manufacturer. We are not a factory, so we don't produce a lot of energy, but we really want to have the mindset of beyond sustainable, it's even more circular. Really try to find a way how to from a block, trying to integrate the whole cycle of a product and being, I mean, with a mindset of circularity. So that's how we try to contribute in educating how we do our job.
Laurie, or
Yeah, I'll speak because I know Sofalca, they also recycle in-house at their factories. So yes, we work in various materials, but cork, as you said, is already recycled, so I don't have to, or sustainable. So I'm not going to explain why we use cork again, but being based in South Africa and not being based in Portugal, where they could just take my granules, we've got a recycling initiative locally since 2013 with Amram Cork. So all our off-cut material, we have to, I mean, it's a valuable material. It's a material I have to import. It's a material we pay for. So it's a material you want to reuse and repurpose as much as possible. So all our granules get recycled and granulated. And currently in South Africa, Amram Cork, they're casting floors with it. So they've developed their own binder. So it's mainly outdoor flooring for schools, big outdoor panels, which they also do for schools mainly, and for gyms, gymnasiums. So all our cork is being repurposed. And the cool thing is, because I've got an amazing carver, his name's Dumi, he's from Zimbabwe. So a lot of our big off-cut blocks, he carves beautiful hand-carved things like skulls, hyenas. We use it to hyena skulls. We use it to turn beautifully, like massive cork closures for our recycled glassware. We make in Eswatini, Swaziland. So there's a lot of ways we try and work, but like Cedric's saying, it's, you know, the sustainability, it's just a thing. You need to just be aware. You need to not be wasteful. And, you know, I think the wastefulness of people is the problem, you know. So I'm aware of the material. I'm aware of what I'm using within my materials, within my products. But sustainability for me is also a lot about durability, you know, good design, things people can inherit, things that will last a long time. So that's always the quality for me. Quality has always been a very, very, very important thing for my business. I'm a bit obsessive about quality and, you know, educating clients and, you know, adding value to what we create.
Okay, from our side, as a factory, it's a little bit different. What can I say? In the beginning, it starts with the idea of my father and his brothers to create this factory in the middle of the trees. So we buy all the raw material in a 50 kilometers around us. So to have a footprint slow on the fuel needed to be here. Then Sofalca have been the first company in the Cork industry to buy this boiler using biomass back in '74. So we are about 95% autosufficient energetically since then. So I believe in those days the sustainability was more economically and not for the environment. However, the idea was to spend our garbage instead of spend
our garbage, meaning small granules and powder of cork.
Yes.
That comes from all the process cleaning and
broken the cork in small granules.
And breaking the cork in the granules that we are going to expand. Back in 1974, it used to be waste, and now it's our biomass. It's what we put inside the boiler, and that's going to heat up the water steam that we need to use.
Yes, and at the same time, we also introduced some solar energy here, and we use all our leftovers to do these granules, expanded granules that you can use in construction to fill empty spaces like in the floor, or a good use. Also, this is some advice. People can do that with cork stoppers they have, so they can fill up empty spaces in the floor or in double wall to make some insulation, or to mix them with concrete, to do light concrete, to do everything, to fill up spaces. It's very easy to do like that. We must understand that a cubic meter of expanded cork have a footprint negative in 300 kilos. So if you keep this cork always in the wall, you always are a CO2 sink we have there. So maybe what I'm going to say, it's not so beautiful, but if we introduce some cork stoppers in the land, these are only vegetable material. It's not damage for the soil or for the environment. But it's a pity, because we are going to lose this CO2 that is kept there. So if we keep a cork stopper, we will keep inside the CO2 there, avoiding to go to the air. And also all the dust we have in the floor when we clean the factory, 0 to 2 millimeters thickness, is always fuel together with the biomassa. And at the same time, we are as a factory, we are registered as a recycling of cork. So we can buy cork from in the end of life of restaurants or wherever, leftovers of everything we can reintroduce, because we need to be registered as a cork recycling material. So we can reintroduce everything here as a raw material in a 10% basis, because also the cork that comes from the fires in the forest can be reused here, also in the 10% basis, because this material is already expanded and already lose the natural resin. So we need to put just a small quantity to avoid to have a big block with no quality to do what we want to do with him. And also, as a factory, we need to be registered as a cleaning company. So we have these guys from the environment that come each 6 months to receive his paycheck, to see if everything is okay. So mostly we don't have garbage. We can reuse everything. Sometimes people ask me, what I have some cork stoppers at home, for instance, in Belgium or in South Africa. And I tell them, you can collect them to Sofalca. I pay for them, but maybe the transport is too expensive for that. You need to reuse them in your country in these ways. You can mix them with another material and do cork granules. And more or less, we receive those values from our father and grandfather. So we keep them to the future. We give them to new generations. And indeed, we are blessed, because someone gave us this product to work, and we have no problems with the environment or the final product. Just this when we need to do black cork in volume. So we need to glue 2 pieces to have more volume. So we use always wood glue that water-based, so it's more eco-friendly. As well, we finish the walls and the design furniture with a water-based varnish. Otherwise, if you don't do that, we will stay with my white shirt dark. And also to keep the color. So even outside, we keep the chocolate color for long, not interior, it will be mostly forever, but outside with the sun, even with this UV protection varnish, Cork will lose the color, but the process is slower than without this kind of varnish. Just an information, we do a lot of outside installation in Portugal. Sometimes the design is the construction, is the house of the construction. We might have a design and then it's covered with cork to protect and to make some insulation and to protect. And normally nobody use no varnish in this kind of cork outside. So as a vegetal material, it gets old like wood. We have tests saying that in 25 years, nothing happens with the cork. It will be old and you lose the color, but it will keep there forever. So if you want to keep again the dark color, you just polish the wall and the chocolate color come again, because it's only in the surface where the sun touch that it keeps it.
I see. May I ask that you mentioned, I mean, that at Sofalca you pay for the cork stoppers, and of course that is a great motivation for people to collect. But in South Africa, there's a different model or a different solution to motivate people, or restaurants or companies to collect cork stoppers. Or okay, Laurie, could you tell about this?
So,
or if I misunderstood something in the Portugal way, please just correct me.
Well, in South Africa, we obviously we love our wine, and especially in the Western Cape, it's a massive wine industry. So Joachim with Amarim, I designed a label for him, a brand years ago in 2013 called Cork Live. So basically, because Amarim Cork South Africa is they're very well known in the wine industry because of the closures, the high quality cork they supply to the farmers. That most wine farms have a recycling. It's a recycling depot. It's like a small box where you can recycle all your corks. So over the years, Amarim Cork has been collecting millions of wine stoppers, and they've granulated them now in patches, and then they cast these floors. And in future, we're working on new projects, hopefully by around next year, where we can incorporate also new molded things within by using recycled wine stoppers to create different products, or different applications for gyms or schools. In South Africa, it's very important to give back, to give back to the communities. And Amarim Cork doesn't charge to get the cork from the wine farms. Because the wine farms would throw it away in any case. So it's almost a recycling initiative, giving back, and hopefully create jobs, which is very important in South Africa.
So it's basically So it is that Amarim is so motivated, and they're taking just care of, or they feel that they have this responsibility, so they are supported.
Exactly. So it's the responsibility factor. It's also because knowing the value of cork and trying to give it a new life. And you need to give it a new life in a different manner. You don't want something that's you don't want to create kitsch products with little cork stoppers. You want to create something new, something modern, and something that can really add value. I mean, knowing the properties of the material. If you can use it in different ways for schooling, or create different products to create jobs, it's just you have to do it. You have to investigate. So Amarim Cork South Africa invested long ago to collect the wine stoppers, to collect my off-cut material, and yes, so it's a very exciting and promising future, I would say, for our wine industry, where we can get the cork. So it's exciting. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I believe so. Cedric, do you know something in Belgium or with your neighbor countries that's kind of starting collecting cork stoppers, or this kind of recycling in the local Amarim or any other companies that would relate it to cork?
I don't know, but I see a movement of. I'm living in Antwerp, and it's not. I mean, a very big city. So when things are happening, you see that there are things moving on. But I know in the hospitality sector there's more and more awareness about how to send back the cork stop. So I mean the basic classical programs we have here, like Ecomat, like 2-3 more construction companies who are really doing into sustainable construction materials, not only cork but hemp, ramped earth. So that they are trying to create sensitivity and awareness about the construction materials, and these guys are doing a really great job because they really go from door to door, let's say, because they are a bit more activist than entrepreneurs, because they live for that, you know. So they're really into this their purpose and their mission. So it's most of the time organizations than businesses. So and they support businesses to. But not only in cork, in a lot of materials, also
Sure.
in wood, and then there are a few companies now really when a building has to completely get down, they really go and recycle the tiles, the doors, everything, and they create a kind of a second-hand market. So it becomes really interesting to see that. From a small country as we are, that there are a lot of initiatives to promote this movement. And like I said before, we are supporting this mindset. We are also organizing workshops for architects, for designers about how to use cork, and because this is how we want to create this awareness. But yes, there are many programs and initiatives, but then from the construction and industry, and we try really to enter in dialogue, because architects, we would love that they also use not only cork as an ecological material, but also as a manifesto of emotion and beauty. So we try to contribute by spreading the awareness, and yeah, I recycle the cork stuff. But I don't drink a lot, so.
Thank you, and I think we should. I should just start to see the end of this conversation, because our time is we are running out of time. So I would like to ask you that if you can please tell us about your upcoming projects. What are you into right now, or what are the next events where we can meet you in person and your products? So if you can give us a little tips and programs, we would really appreciate that.
Oh, did you ask me? Sorry.
I'm asking everyone. So Laurie,
I don't know.
please.
It's like, I don't know who needs to. Yeah, I'll be quick. Like I don't. We've exhibited in the past abroad, but lately, I mean, it's very expensive, and if you're not based in Europe, it's quite tricky to export and travel. So lately, we've mainly focused on our manufacturing and and focusing on our designs after COVID. We've always been thankfully very busy, and I'm grateful for that. But yeah, we were actually approached by the Venice Biennale to present a concept which we've presented. So now it's just the funding. So I'm excited about that project. And we've got an amazing exhibit the end of this month, and it's part of the Portuguese Trade and Investment Agency. So the embassy approached me, and the Minister of Trade and Industry will also visit my studio this month. It's the 25th till the 28th. So it's basically to show Portuguese excellence. So it's going to be made in Portugal, naturally meets my brand. And we're getting amazing ceramic products from Portuguese designers and craft the artisans. We're getting furniture in, cutleries. I mean, Portugal's insane when it comes to the craft and what they can produce. So it's always inspirational to visit Portugal. So I'm excited to host that now end of this month, and and then we just carry on with our projects. But no, I don't have anything planned as like a hardcore European exhibit or something. It's always running around. So it's we mainly focus locally, like with our Cape Town Art Fair next year. We'll do a Cape Town Design Week where I'll work with selected galleries and we'll do pop-up exhibitions in Cape Town. Cool.
From us, we have been in London last month, and we predict that next year we will probably be in Paris and in London, Maison et Objet and London Design Fair again. We have a really big project, not only for Gen Cork, but for Sofalca, and I think for everyone that works with Cork, because we are working with Saadid, the architects. We are making walls for their new offices in London. So I think it's going to be, well, it is really good for us, and I think it's going to be really good for Cork itself. Yes, I think that's our big thing for now.
Just to add, it's not going to be, it's already there.
Yeah.
So the main lobby is already installed, 80 square meters wall. In this case, they are experts in generative design, so it's his design and our work. So we put Gen Cork and Sofalca together with the architects to develop his pattern. And the project is 4 levels with 4 different patterns. And we already made 2 for the first and second floor. And the other 2 floors will be produced until the end of this year. So this is a big project in London, and the main lobby everybody can visit and to see the beautiful of Cork wall installed.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah, it is.
Well, yeah, for me, we are working on a prototype of a meditation cabin or pavilion, fully in Cork, with Cork beams, and trying to develop that as a hospitality concept or story, where you can really, we are now looking for the right plots to implement, but it could be a modular build off grid element that we could like place in a winery or in the Alentejo Cork fields or at people's in the backyard. So it's a translation of a still room in a very sheltered pavilion, but more as a one-off installation and trying to work on that. So here again we are looking for funding as well. Brands in the well-being sector or owners or real estate or hospitality brands to integrate that, because I think it's a very interesting work to elevate, in our case, how to use Cork as an immersive experience, a space where you can really interpret what is the sacred space of modern times. Where can you really reconnect with yourself and trying to discover also the potential of being, thanks to the beautiful properties of Cork. So bringing Cork in that way, that would be really nice to develop.
And for just the final words, if you have any advices for young designers, students, or young professionals, if they would like to start to work with Cork, or please just tell some nice advices if you have.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you for your invitation to be here. It is a pleasure to be part of this 20 years anniversary, and this for me personally, it's also a pleasure to pass some of my knowledge in this Cork producer and does this design way. So if someone want to start, we can also give our knowledge. If they need expanded Cork, we can see if it is possible. But my advice is to do it with time, because we need time. Here in Alentejo and in Portugal, we like to go with time, because otherwise quality control is lost. So we need time. As Cedric said, the Cork experience need time and need to feel it. So we are open to help people or to see what you need. And also thank you to Cedric and to Laurie by this partnership in this workshop. In this, and also thank you to Mafalda to invite me to be here.
And we want to invite everyone, the speakers and the public, if you want to visit us and see a little bit more about the production and how everything goes on the backside, we are open to give you, to explain you, to show you. So if just let us know.
And thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. No, thank you so much for inviting me. I appreciate it. It's wonderful meeting you guys, everyone. And yeah, if the viewers are ever in Cape Town, they're also welcome to pop me a mail. We're not a huge studio. We've got a beautiful showroom, beautiful building, views of Cape Town. More than welcome. And I can also show you how my guys are working and how we interpret working with Cork. And I would love to. I'm actually visiting Portugal next month, so hopefully I can pop in at Sofalca. They're happy. I would love to. We're doing like a whole tour with winemakers, and I need to do some work there. But yeah, and advice for young designers. Yeah, I agree. I mean, design. For me, I always believe in apprenticeships. So I believe in working with your hands, learning. I apprenticed for over 6 years with various artisans, carpenters, metal workers, and bronze casting. So then I sort of found my niche. So if you're interested in working with Cork, then of course you're going to need to start experimenting, and you're going to need to start understanding the material. But it's important to note that Cork is not a cheap material. It shouldn't be seen as a cheap material. It's a material that's it's a valuable material. It's a natural material, and you need to respect it, and you need to understand the processes of where it's from and how you're going to use it. The last thing you want is to have products that's not beautifully designed in Cork. It must be beautiful. It must be sustainable. Yeah. Thanks again.
So as a third party, I also want to thank you, Dorothea, for the invitation for the Budapest Design Week 20th anniversary. It's a manifestation of Cork gratitude, let's say. And yeah, also Sofalca and Laurie, very happy to stay in touch, to keep maybe closer to each other, to exchange also in the future, maybe ideas. And because I think that one part is also, the time and the business, but then it's also the dialogue and to be open mind and to be really open heart as well, to share experiences and ideas. This is how you can make a business grow. And from my part, as an advice, I think the metaphor is the art of design. Sometimes you really need to create a narrative about a material, no matter what material, but you really have to feel it from the heart. And besides time and craftsmanship, I would say follow your heart, and then the numbers will follow as well. So that's I think an important part also, that you can integrate as a young designer. If the heart feels the Cork, then you're on the right way.
Thank you so much. We are just really honored that we could create this webinar with you. I really enjoyed it, and please, if you come to Budapest, we definitely have to meet in person. as well. So thank you so much. And if any of the viewers would ask questions later or something, I'm going to email the questions to you. So
Thanks.
so we can definitely give answers to our viewers. So thank you again. Thank you for the Budapest Design Week as well for this for being the part of the festival. And thank you. And I have a wonderful exhibitions and wonderful business partnerships. And I cannot promise that I won't reach out to you because it was just such an inspirational talk. So maybe I'm going to.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, please come and visit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Right, thank you all.